Hey, this is a little bonus segment. So Chris Jericho goes to Digital Spy, and he has a conversation about Big Show, and he's talking about why Big Show and Sting and all these guys are jumping over to AEW. So Jericho says these are guys that were kind of almost insulted in their WWE runs. Sting and Paul White definitely not treated with too much respect over the last few years. We treat our legends with respect. We don't make jokes out of them, and WWE is notorious for that. Whether it's Sting, Paul White, Toby Blanchard, Arn Anderson, Jake Roberts, Dustin Rhodes, throw in Chris Jericho. We know how to treat our legendary performers with respect and make them all look great and make them all worthy of being in AEW, because if they aren't worthy of being in AEW, why would they be there? Everybody that's under contract in AEW is there and designed to be as much of a star as they possibly can be. Paul White was considered to be a tent pole, one of the foundations of the company, but they weren't really using him. But I know the value of White. He's got one thing you can't teach: experience and who he is as a character, understanding comedy, drama, and when to be violent. I also know that he's a great mentor for some of our young guys. Some of our bigger guys that we have, Lance Archer and Luchasaurus, those types of guys, and most importantly, I know how dangerous a motivated Big Show can be. So he continues talking about Sting, and Sting has a lot left in the tank. So Jericho's, I said this before in the video where White was announced right before Dynamite, that Paul White and Jericho are friends. So obviously he's going to say that Paul White, but obviously Paul White could be a mentor. Obviously Paul White has an incredible amount of experience. That's, that goes without saying. The guy was wrestling in 1995, where some of these guys were little kids. So yeah, that goes without saying. Now, the whole thing about WWE not treating their legends properly, I think Jericho is projecting, basically talking about himself. And I do think that some of these guys have been put out to pasture and they didn't really care for it. The whole Sting still wanted to do cinematic matches. WWE was kind of like, nah. Big Show, who knows? Maybe he still wanted to wrestle, but people were kind of like, okay, we're kind of over the whole Big Show thing. We got Braun Strowman, we got, Baba Twinde, Dabba-Kato. You also have, Almost, who hangs out with AJ Styles. You have other big guys that kind of, it's kind of their time to really get a run. And, yeah, I mean, you kind of need a Big Show to be a mentor, sure, but you also had Undertaker there. Undertaker was Big Show's mentor. So you kind of have to say, okay, there's different things you can learn from Big Show, sure. But you have Kane there, you have Undertaker there, so, I mean, Paul White felt a little extra. I mean, I can understand that. But I don't know, because, see, here's the thing. People have been saying for a long time that WWE sort of overvalues the older talent, that WWE values the Goldbergs and the Edges and the guys who are over 40, value them way too much. And now here Jericho is saying that, they don't really treat these guys right anyway. It's like, which one is it? Which one is it? Is it that WWE doesn't care about these older talent, or is it that they looked at the roster and looked at, like, Sting had a serious neck injury, probably shouldn't be wrestling, therefore Sting had no real value outside of autograph sessions and that kind of stuff, because he can't wrestle. He's never been a great talker. So really, what can you do? Like, that's basically the question. Like, could you do Sting in a tag team match? I guess you could. I guess AEW is going to try that. But if you're WWE, you really want to put Sting with a busted up neck into a situation where he could possibly get hurt? No. So I don't know. But this also leans into why I'm on the subject of talking about this. The big Hall of Fame, blah, 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 that's supposed to be signing up with AEW because, you have to put more toys in the box of toys for the guy who has all the toys. And a lot of people have been saying, like, maybe it's going to be somebody who's already retired, like Kurt Angle or Dave Bautista, or somebody like CM Punk, who's, like, really up there in age. I personally just said it's going to be Thea Trinidad, a.k.a. Zelina Vega. That's who I said it was going to be. Could it be Kurt Angle? Kurt Angle was unhappy with his his retirement match. He wanted to wrestle other people, John Cena or something like that. But he ended up getting Baron Corbin. So could that mean that maybe he wants to wrestle one more match to have his retirement match with somebody he wants to work with, rather than somebody Vince just picked for him? Yes, I think it could be. I think it could be Kurt Angle. It's entirely possible, and I think that it might be what Jericho is doing is he's recruiting a bunch of disgruntled, older guys who still have a little bit left, and he's calling them in and saying, "Hey, look, we have a really young roster here. They signed all of these guys because they were hot on the independents, but it wasn't working out. Like the ratings weren't really doing that well. Houses wasn't doing that well, so you needed like older talent. You needed Matt Hardy, and you needed Brody Lee. You needed some guys who could still work but were older. Now they're getting guys who are older and can't really work, like Big Show and Sting. But if that's Jericho pulling the strings and being like, okay, he's gonna call Kurt Angle, or he's gonna call. Now there's people out there who's like, it's gonna be Brock, it's gonna be Cena. It's like, Cena is a highly doubt. I highly doubt it. If it's not just Zelina Vega, then I think that if it's not just Zelina Vega, could it be CM Punk? It's possible, It's possible it could be CM Punk. He's been talking a lot about wanting to wrestle, and, he's been putting out this whole, hey, these are the guys I would work with if I was working in AEW, wink, wink. And, this is how much money you would have to pay me, or give me creative control to let me do this, wink, wink. And he's kind of been putting that out there. So it's entirely possible it could be CM Punk. But, is it going to be like The Rock? Probably not. Is it going to be Cena? Probably not. Is it going to be Brock? Probably not. Could it be Kurt Angle? I think it could be. Could it be Batista? Not likely. Batista and Cena are WWE guys. Like, they've never worked anywhere else. So, probably not. But Kurt Angle has left before. Kurt Angle has been under contract and then not under contract before. WWE did offer to do things with Kurt Angle before. They wanted him to be Riddle's manager. He turned that down. He said he didn't want to leave his business. That he has I think he has some type of I forget what he does, but he said like he had started doing some outside businesses and he didn't want to have to put that down to be Riddle's manager. That would have been sweet, that Kurt Angle in the corner of Matt Riddle. That would have been sweet. Or in the corner of like Chad Gable or something like that. That could have been dope. But, sometimes that's also the case where WWE does want you to do something, but you don't know, the guys don't want to do it. They might still want to wrestle, or they still might want to, do something else. But I find this very curious that Chris Jericho put out there that, they don't know how to treat the legends, when the fans are the ones saying that, WWE does nothing but push legends. It's like, which one is the case? Which one is true? Which one of these statements is true? But I think that there, obviously Vince sees more value in some people over others. Sting was always an outsider anyway. But, once he got injured, they kind of just decided, okay, it's better to cut bait with Sting, and, he can do autographs sessions. But it always did bother me that they didn't really follow up with Sting. Like, they didn't, he lost to Seth Rollins and he didn't like endorse somebody else or something like that, which would have been cool, or at least got to do the Royal Rumble or something. Like, all that could have been fun, but AEW has been bringing in like Diamond Dallas Page and people like that. Could it be somebody like that? Maybe, but I think, DDP probably does some stuff around there already. But I don't know. I think that this is where you get the whole, we're bringing in a Hall of Fame level talent, is I think that Jericho has basically said like, okay, all these guys WWE are not really using, not really pushing for, that they really never saw that much value in. We're going to bring those guys in and just to, if nothing else, mentor our young guys and to validate our roster so that we can look at TNT and be like, hey, look at what we're doing. We're bringing in Paul White. We're bringing in Sting. We're bringing in Jericho. We're bringing in X, Y, and Z. We're bringing in all these guys. And the worst thing that Tony Khan could do is he could bring in somebody who is not associated with WWE. Like, you could bring in somebody who's like from WCW, or you could bring in some Japanese legend like Kenta Kobashi or something like that. that's going to be like a big question marks over people's heads. That's the worst thing he could do. The worst thing he could do is really be pushing this thing as one of the selling points of the pay-per-view, and it's not living up to it. But I'm over the whole we got a secret huge contract signing surprise free agent. I'm done with that period anyway. I'm tired of it already. It's only been a year and I'm already tired of it. I'm tired of secret surprise signings. You know, I'm over it. In NXT and WWE. Like, I'm tired of the secret surprise announcements, the secret surprise signings. I'm tired of that shit. Just build your fucking roster, sign the guys, and have them debut. If they're going to debut, great. If they're not, great. Who cares? You know, but who could it be? I don't know. But I thought it was curious what Jericho has said in conjunction with what Tony Khan has been saying about bringing in a Hall of Fame worthy opponent or Hall of Fame worthy talent, because there is quite a few disgruntled older people from WWE, that you could bring in. Some of whom might still be working age, like a Big Show. I wouldn't put Sting in that category, but there could be some 45-year-olds, 42-year-olds, 43-year-olds that Vince didn't really want to use. Maybe somebody that was released, and we're going to bring that guy in. It's entirely possible. Could it be somebody like Christian? Who knows? We'll have to see. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel. I thank you guys for your time, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah. Yeah.